Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Miss Glen and Friends Read On. I'm super excited about our guest reader tonight. I don't think I've seen her live. Well, this still isn't like live, but in I don't know how many years, probably over 10 years. But I'm so excited. She'll introduce herself and tell you our connection, but very excited to have Miss Jennifer read with us tonight. So I hope you guys enjoy the story.
Hi guys, I'm Jennifer. My students know me as Ms. Velasco. I teach fourth grade math in Texas, and I've known Miss Glenn since I was about 15 years old. So I've known her for about 10 years, so a really long time. She was my camp counselor. I did some camps over the summer, and we got to do a lot of team building, and that's actually how I met her. But yeah, that's how I know her. And I was really excited when I saw that she was doing read alouds and she was inviting people because I love to read to kids. I do it for a living. So I'm actually going to read one of my favorite stories. Let me move a little bit to where you guys can see it. It's The Lorax, and many of you guys have probably seen the movie, but I'm still going to read it because it's one of my favorites. Okay, The Lorax. At the far end of town, oh, sorry. The Lorax by Dr. Seuss. The Lorax by Dr. Seuss. At the far end of town where the grickle grass grows, and the wind smells slow and sour when it blows, and the birds ever sing, excepting old crows, is the street of the lifted Lorax. And deep in the grickle grass, some people say, if you look deep enough, you can still see today where the Lorax once stood just as long as it could before somebody lifted the Lorax away. What was the Lorax? And why was it there? And why was it lifted and taken somewhere? From the far end of town where the grickle grass grows, the old one still lives there. Ask him, he knows. You won't see the onceler, don't knock at his door. He stays in his lurkum on top of his store. He lurks in his lurkum cold under the roof, where he makes his own clothes out of muffled move. And on special dank midnights in August he peeks out of the shutters, and sometimes he speaks. And and tells how the Lorax was lifted away. He'll tell you perhaps if you're willing to pay. Y'all see him? He's in there. On the end of a rope, he lets down a tin pail, and you have to toss in 15 cents and a nail, and the shell of a great grandfather snail. I think that's so silly. I wonder what he uses the shell of the grandfather snail. If y'all have any ideas, let me know what you think he uses it for. Then he pulls up the pail, makes a most careful count to see if you paid him the proper amount. Then he hides what you paid him away in his snuff, his secret strange hole in his grovelous glove. Then he grunts, I will call you by, whisper my phone, for the secrets I tell you are for your ears alone. Sloop! Down slups the whisper my phone to your ear. And the old ones are whispers are not very clear, since they have to come down through the snugly hose, and he sounds as if he had smallish bees up his nose. Now I tell you, he says, with his teeth sounding gray, how the Lorax got lifted and taken away. It all started way back, such a long time back. Way back in the days when the grass was still green, and the pond was still wet, and the clouds were still cleaned, and the song of the stormy swan rang out in space. One morning I came to this glorious place, And I first saw the trees, the truffula trees, the bright colored tufts of the truffula trees, mile after mile in the fresh morning breeze. Look how beautiful that is. So I don't know if you remember a second ago what it looks like, how dark it looks like, but it used to look colorful. What do you guys think happened? Why do you think it's all dark now? Let's find out. And under the trees I saw brown barbaloots frisking about in their barbaloot suits as they played in the shade and ate truffula trees. From the rippleless pond came the comfortable sound of the humming fish humming while splashing around. But those truffula trees, all my life I've been searching for trees such as these. The touch of their tufts was much more softer than silk, and they had the sweet smell of fresh butterfly milk. I felt a great leaping of joy in my heart. I knew just what to do. I unloaded my cart. See him unloading. In no time at all, I had built a small shop. Then I chopped down a truffula tree with just one chop. And with great skillful skill and the great speedy speed, I took the soft tuft and knitted a thneed. The instant I finished, I heard a gazump. I looked, I saw something pop out of a stump of the tree I chopped down. It was sort of a man. Describe him? That's hard. I don't know if I can. How would you describe the Lorax? He was shortish and oldish and brownish and mossy, and he spoke with a voice that was sharpish and bossy. So there's what he looks like. Mister, he said with a sawdusty sneeze, I am the Lorax. I speak for the trees. I speak for the trees have no tongues. I'm asking you, sir, at the top of my lungs. He was very upset as he shouted and puffed. What's the thing that you've made out of my truffula tuft? Look, Lorax, I said, there's no cause for alarm. I chopped just one tree. I'm doing no harm. I'm being quite useful. This thing it's a need. It needs to find something that all people need. It's a shirt, it's a sock, it's a glove, it's a hat. But it has other uses, yes, far beyond that. You can use it for carpets, for pillows, for sheets, or curtains, or covers, or bicycle seats. The Lorax said, Sir, you are crazy with greed. There is no one on earth who would buy that fourth need. But the very next minute I proved he was wrong, for just at that minute a champ came along, and he thought that the need I knitted was great. He happily bought it for 3.98. I laughed at the Lorax, you poor stupid guy. You never can tell what some people will buy. Look at the bears. I repeat, cried the Lorax, I speak for the trees. I'm busy, I told him. Shut up, if you please. I rushed across the room and in no time at all built a radio phone. I put in a quick call. I called on my brothers, my uncle, and aunts, and I said, Listen here, here's a wonderful chance for the whole Winslow family to get mighty rich. Get over here fast, take the road to North Niche, turn left at Weehawken, sharp right at South Stitch. And in no time at all, in the back factory I built, the whole Winslow family was working full tilt. We were on knitting needs just as busy as bees to the sound of chopping of truffula trees. Then, baby, oh, how my business did grow. Now, chopping one tree at a time was too slow. So I quickly invented my super axe hacker, which whacked off 4 truffula trees at one smacker. We were making needs 4 times as fast as before, and that Lorax, he didn't show up anymore. But the next week he knocked on my new office door. He snapped, "I'm the Lorax who speaks for the trees, which you seem to be shopping as fast as you please. But I'm also in charge of the brown bubble lutes, who played in the shade of the barbarous suits and happily lived eating truffle of fruits. Now, thanks to your hacking my trees to the ground, there's not enough truffle of fruit to go around, and my poor babaloots are getting the crummies because they have gas and no food in their tummies." Look how sad they look. They loved living here, but I can't let them stay. They'll have to find food, and I hope that they may. "Good luck, boys," he cried, and he sent them away. I, the onceler, felt sad as I watched them all go. But business is business, and business must grow, regardless of crummies and tummies, you know. So look at them all marching away. So sad. I meant no harm, I must most truly did not, but I had to grow bigger, so bigger I got. I biggered my factory, I biggered my roads, I biggered my wagons, I biggered the loads of needs I shipped out. I was shipping them forth to the south, to the east, to the west, to the north. I went right on biggering, selling more needs, and I biggered my money, which everyone needs. Then again he came back. I was fixing some pipes when the old nuisance Lorax came back with more gripes. "I am the Lorax!" He coughed and he whiffled, he sneezed and he snuffled, he snargled, he snipped. "Onceler," he cried with a querulous croak, "Onceler! You're making such mugulous smoke! My poor swami swans, why they can't sing a note. No one can sing who has smug in their throat." So smog is this is what smog is. It's what factories throw out, and it's actually very dangerous for animals and even humans if you inhale too much of it. "And so," said the Lorax, "please pardon my cough. They can't live here, so I'm sending them off." "Where will they go?" "I hopefully don't know." "They may have to fly for a month or a year to escape the smog you smuggled up around here." "What's more," snapped the Lorax, his dander was up, "let me say a few words of the gluppity glup. Your machinery shugs on day and night without stop, making gluppity glup, also sloppity slop. And what do you do with this leftover goo? I'll show you, you dirty old onceler man, you." "You're glumping the pond where the humming fish hummed. No more can they hum, for their gills are all gummed. So I'm sending them off, or their future is dreary. They'll walk on their fins and get woefully weary in search of some water that isn't so smeary." So if you remember, what 3 animals has he already ran off? And then I got mad. I got terribly mad. I yelled at the Lorax. "Now listen here, Dad. All you do is yap and yap and say bad, 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 bad. Well, I have my rights, sir, and I'm telling you, I intend to go on doing just what I do. And for your information, you Lorax I'm fingering, I'm biggering, 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 and biggering. I'm turning more truffula trees into needs, which everyone needs. And at that very moment, we heard a loud whack. From outside in the fields came a sickening smack of an axe on a tree. Then we heard the tree fall, the very last truffula tree of them all. So, if that's the last truffula tree, do you think he's going to keep making more thneeds? Because remember, he makes the thneeds out of the truffula trees. So, if that's the last one, can he make any more? Let's find out. No more trees meant no more needs, no more work to be done. So in no time, my uncles and aunts, everyone, all waved goodbye. They jumped into my cars and drove away under the smoke-smokered stars. Now all that was left neath the bad-smelling sky was my big empty factory, the Lorax and I. So with all the trees gone, they can't make any more needs. So his family was like, bye. We can't make more money here. The Lorax said nothing, just gave me a glance. Just gave me a very sad backwards glance as he lifted himself by the seat of his pants, and I'll never forget the grim look on his face when he hoisted himself and took leave of this place through a hole in the smog without leaving a trace. And all that the Lorax left there in this mess was a small pile of rocks with one word, unless. Whatever that meant, I couldn't just guess. That was long ago, but each day since that day I've sat here and worried away. Through the years while my buildings have fallen apart, I've worried about it with all of my heart. But now, says the Onceler, now that you're here, the word of the Lorax seems perfectly clear. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing's going to get better, it's not. So, catch, calls the Onceler. He let something fall. It's a truffula seed. It's the last one of all. You're in charge of the last of the truffula seeds, and truffula trees are what everyone needs. Plant a new truffula, treat it with care. Give it clean water and feed it fresh air. Grow a forest, protect it from the axes that hack. Then the Lorax and all of his friends may come back. You'll see the seed. The end. So I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I really enjoyed this book. Because we cut down so many trees a year, and a lot of companies have actually started making a change. So there's a lot of tree newspaper companies that for every tree they take down, they actually plant 3 more. However, it takes a really long time for a tree to grow. So we need someone like you to make a difference and protect the animals. So I just want to leave you with that thought. What is one thing that you can do to make a difference?
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that story. And I'm actually reminded of one of my students. He's not on the live tonight, but he and his family, they aren't planting trees, but they just started a garden, which is also good for the environment. But as you said, yeah, we have to be very mindful. And even in the book, we see that the family, they were cutting the trees saying that they were meeting the needs of the people, but while they were doing that, like with in such excess or just doing it so much, it was taken away from the animals. So definitely a great reminder for all of us to take care of the environment around us, because the environment also takes care of us. And so if we don't take care of it, we actually hurt ourselves as well. Thank you for sharing that. And thank you to those who joined. I saw Kennedy, Denaya, Harmony, Jahazio, and anyone else who's on tonight, thank you so much for joining. I hope you enjoyed the story. And if you want to hear more read alouds, we're here on this channel at 2:30 and 7 Monday through Friday. Who's this, Denaya? She said that was a really great book. I really enjoyed it. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, Denaya. And thank you so much, Jennifer. I'm so proud of you. I get it like years ago, like I was still in college and you were just in high school at camp. But you've grown into you're a full blown adult.
Yep.
So I just want to say I'm very proud of you and thank you so much for coming on and sharing with my students today.
No, thank you. And you can invite me anytime.
Absolutely, absolutely. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you.